Okay, welcome back to Fun on Weekdays podcast, everyone. We are here for a Zoom episode, my first one that I've done in a while. Special guest, Lexie Rainholt. She may be
Hey
running,
guys.
she
Sorry,
may
I'll
be,
cut you off again.
no, you're good. She may be running your For You page the same way that she has been running mine for like the past couple of months. I'm obsessed with Lexie. So excited to have you here today.
Hey, I'm so excited to be here.
Yes,
Yeah, we've been looking forward to this.
I know we keep talking about who is going to visit who first, but we figured in the meantime we'd get over Zoom and
Yeah.
just chat all things hair and being a hairdresser and how she's, doing on TikTok and everything like that. So, Lexie, you live in Florida.
I just moved here.
Okay.
So
And how old are you?
I'm 23. I
Okay.
just turned
Okay.
23 in June. So yeah.
Gotcha. And so how long have you been doing hair?
About 3.5 years now.
Okay.
So yeah, I was 19. I was almost 20 when I started. So when I started like out of school. But yeah.
Okay. So after you graduated high school, you went to cosmetology school then?
Yeah, so long story. So I wanted to go to cosmetology school ever since I was little, but it was one of those things where like you grow up and you're like, oh, like they don't make any money. I don't know if I actually want to do it. So when I got into high school, they had this thing called Career Center where you could do it while you were in like high school. And I was signed up to do it and I dropped out. So I was like, no, I'm just gonna go to college like everyone else. My parents were like, no, you're not going to like the 4 year. Like they were like, go to community college because I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I hated them at the time for it. But then I was like, okay, makes sense not to waste all that money. So then I ended up going to, I went to community college to be an x-ray tech.
And
And I
okay.
could never do that job in a million years. So I ended up failing. I took 3 classes. That's it. Failed almost all of them. So I was like, I remember going to my mom. It was like around Christmas time because it was after I just failed all my classes of that semester. And I went up to my mom and I was like, you know what? I think maybe I want to give cosmetology school a try because like I've always been into hair. I've been wearing hair extensions since I was like 15. I got made fun of so hard in high school. Everyone called me well, they would say that I'm wearing horse hair. Literally was like I look back and it was so funny, but I used to be so self-conscious about it. But yeah, and then my parents were very supportive of me going. So they were so excited. We actually gave my dad like that was his Christmas gift that year was that I was going to cosmetology school
Oh my
because they
God.
knew that I always wanted to do it. So yeah, there's my little long story short of that. But yeah, then I went so I went to 1 semester of college essentially. But yeah.
Okay. Love that. I mean, college is not for everyone. I thought when I was in
Yeah.
high school that I wanted to do cosmetology as well. We actually had like the same thing. It was during the day, like the first half or the second half of the day, you go to the career center and you get your degree, like basically for free while you're still in school. And I, in my mind, was like, I'm not going to do it because then I'll miss out on like the high school experience. But I
Mm-hmm.
do still kind of look back and I'm like, that would have been really nice to just have that and not have to commit to the actual
Yeah.
cosmetology school after college because it's something
It's
I enjoy to
expensive.
do. But yeah,
Yeah, it's well, that was my thing is I didn't want to miss out on the college experience. So that's why I was like, no, like, but looking back, the best thing I did was and like going there because I knew that whatever I would have done in college, I would have either, a lot of people always ask me, they're like, what would you be doing if you weren't doing hair? And I'm like, I would be doing something in social media
mhm.
because like that's just like what I liked. I like the content creation, everything like that. So,
Yeah,
but
and
yeah,
you're so
it
good
worked.
at it. Now you kind of
Oh,
get to like fuse the two together. And I feel like doing social media while
yeah.
you're a hairstylist is like the most important thing. Cause if I'm picking a hairstylist to go to, like there is no way in hell that I'm going to go to someone that doesn't have like an Instagram with
Exactly.
photos or like videos. Like I don't
Yeah,
trust you.
exactly. I teach classes now and I tell everyone I'm always like being a hairstylist nowadays is so much more than just like working behind the chair. Now
Mhm.
we have to be like photographers. We have to be on social media. It's a lot, but I don't know. It's insane the way that it can change your business though. Um,
Oh,
but
I'm
yeah,
sure.
that's how I built my clientele when I was 19 years old on Instagram. And if you were to tell someone that's like 10 years older than me, that's a hairstylist, that like, yeah, I built my clientele off of Instagram, they'd be like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Do you feel like older people in the industry feel kind of like threatened by younger hairstylists?
I kind of like, in a way, I feel like some older people, not like speaking for everyone, but some don't care to learn like the new techniques and the new way of like doing things because it's so different than. So
Mhm.
like when I was like moving to Florida, a lot of the people that I worked with at my old like salon studios, they're a little bit older and they were like, wow, like how can you just like move like that? And I'm like, it's social media, like you can build a clientele kind of wherever you want to go. You just have to be smart with like
Mhm.
your marketing in that sense, I guess.
Yeah, totally. So you worked at, okay, so how long did cosmetology school take?
It took about it's supposed to take you a year, and it took me like a year and a couple months because
Okay.
I missed so many days I had to make them up.
Okay. And then after that, well, first of all, I'm right there with you. I probably would take me like a year and a half, maybe 2 years. So
Yeah.
after that, you worked in a salon in where were you before Florida?
So I lived in Illinois. I grew up in Illinois, about like an hour south of Chicago. So when I first got out of cosmetology school, I went to a commission salon. So you can go to like when you're in like hair, you can go to commission, you can go to booth rent, or you can do like a studio, which is like pretty much like owning your own thing.
Okay.
So I did a commission at first because like that's kind of what you do when you don't have a clientele. It's kind of like how you build it up without spending all of your money.
Is that just
Um,
working in like a salon where you have your own chair at, and then there's a
Yeah,
bunch of
and
other
then
people? Okay.
basically the salon pays you a lot of the times a lot of salons actually like kind of like screw people over. And they'll be like, you know, you get 40%, I get 60, like so like the stylist will get 40% and the salon will get 60% of
Okay.
like everything that they're doing. So it's I mean it's a good way to start off, but I don't think that it's like the best way unless you're making like 50-50. But I
Mhm.
was lucky and I was making 60 and they were making 40. So I got lucky in the commission salon that I was at.
And then when you tip your hairstylist, do they get 100% of the tips or you split that with the salon as well?
I believe that I got to keep the tips
Okay.
personally at like my salon. Yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, then I moved after 5 months, I moved to a booth rent position.
Okay.
Um, which was kind of scary, but I really wanted to like go off on my own.
Okay.
So
Is it booth rent then? Is it kind of like, let's say, salon lofts where there's like a place and then you just have your own little room
yes.
within?
So basically it's like a salon, but like there's instead of like you just having like your own chair, like you're renting the chair. So for example, I paid $140 a week for my chair, but I have to buy all my own product and stuff. I'm basically just paying for that chair in that salon.
Okay.
A studio would be like a place, and I that's how I have my own little room that I got to like decorate and yeah. So
Okay. And that's
studio's
what
more
you,
expensive, but
yeah. And that's what you have now, correct? You have like
uh-huh.
your own full, I love
Yes.
watching it. I love watching you decorate it.
It's so fun. I love decorating. That's why I was like, when I came here, and it's so funny because my decorations are like my house like decorations. I had to make my bed before. I was like, I was not gonna make my bed before we did this, and I was like, I probably shouldn't. I probably should do that. People
No,
are
it
gonna
looks
be like,
cute.
this girl's a lazy. I also had a bunch of like clothes on the ground. I picked them up. You can't even see them though.
You're good. You should not see the other side of my computer behind the screen. My office is a complete disaster. But
Yeah,
the plus side
that's
of
not
my
nice.
office is no one sees it. The downside of your office is that's where everyone is going to get their hair cut.
Oh, exactly. And but it's so it looks a little bit bigger online than it is in person. So a lot of people walk in and they're like, "Oh my God, it's so cute in here," but it's like it's not big. So like I don't have to there's not a lot to clean, which is nice
Yeah, that's
because
good. So,
I'm not a good cleaner.
oh, same. I feel like, okay, so I think that there's a difference though between being clean and being messy. I am messy. Like I'll put my clothes everywhere. I don't like to pick up boxes and stuff like that.
Yes.
But when it comes to cleaning, it's like, okay, there's food on the ground, there's stuff on the counters. Like that to me is unacceptable. But
Yeah.
not being able to see the floor, that's a little bit different.
Exactly. That's
So,
funny.
so you've been doing really, really well in Florida now, and you're your boyfriend there as well.
No, he
No?
actually is in Illinois. So
Wait.
I actually left
I,
everything.
oh my God. So I thought that it was the complete opposite. I thought that you were leaving Illinois to then be by your boyfriend. Oh my gosh.
No, yeah, no. I've been with Carter for this is like what everyone thought was like insane. So me and Carter have been together since I was 17. It's been like 6 years.
Oh my
And I
God.
moved in with him right after high school. And But he's known like my dreams and like my goals. And like I love Florida. Every time we would vacation here, I would be like going home and I would be like crying on the car ride home. And I'm like, I want to go back. Like I want to live there. Um, didn't it wasn't a real like a reality like a year ago. And then I started like becoming a businesswoman, if you will. And I started making my own money. I saved up, and it was something I brought up to him over the summer. He's so supportive though, which is
Yeah.
really great. But yeah, I had to leave him, and my dog Ivy is with him in Illinois too.
Oh
But
my
yeah,
gosh. Well, that's so
yeah,
crazy. Good for you. I feel like,
yeah.
is that hard then going from living together to then being like long distance at an age where I feel like everyone is chasing like living with
Getting
their
married.
significant
And
other? Yeah.
so where I live, where I grew up, it's one of those things where like if you're dating someone like in high school and like you make it to like where me and Carter are like 23, you're getting engaged and having kids like now.
Yeah, like
So
yesterday.
and people are so in like smaller towns like that. So like the adults and like the like people like that know us personally were, when I said that I was moving, they took it as like a very like, Carter, why are you staying with her? And
Oh.
what people don't realize is that there's something called like a healthy relationship. Um, and that this is like what I tell everyone too. And I'm like, this is like one of those things where like he's just very like he wants me to succeed and he wants me to chase my dreams. And it was one of the things where I wasn't going to make him move to Florida and he wasn't going to make me stay in Illinois. We're going to figure out what we're going to do down the road. He can't move until after he's done with his apprenticeship in Illinois. He's like an electrician. So
Okay.
he can't move until he's done with that anyways. So we're kind of gonna wait after that, see where we go. His mom's actually moving here, so
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
kind of thinking maybe he'll have to say. We'll see that.
Well, that's like really inspiring. I feel like a lot of people don't have the courage to leave, especially
Yeah.
when their significant other is like there.
It's
You know what I mean?
that it's a huge thing. And like I said, like I feel like I feel like it opened up a lot of people's eyes in the sense of like I was able to bring this up to, and it wasn't a big argument. It wasn't like a huge deal. Like it wasn't a bad thing. I
Yeah,
think,
that's
and I
good.
think that's like one of those things where like, if your person actually really like cares for you, they want, because we have our whole lives to settle down, you
Hmm.
know, like
Yeah.
we're only 23. We have to like live our lives and figure out. Me and Carter both didn't go to college. And like I said, I moved in with him when I was 17 years old. I moved in with him and his mom. So we've been living together for so long. So I think it's not like when you start to like live together for that long and like we're not married, whatever, and we're not engaged. So we're kind of just like, at this point where it's like, okay, what do we want to do?
Hmm.
So this is kind of like, it's nice. I think
Yeah.
we both are on the very much the same page about it.
Good for you. I love the fact that he's so supportive of it too. Have
Oh, he's
you
so sweet.
have you had like a hard time making girlfriends or anything? Do you feel lonely or homesick?
Um, here's the problem. I am a very like independent, just like introverted, that's the word.
Okay.
I love to be alone. And I
Really?
don't mind. It's the weirdest thing. So I sometimes like I've made quite a few friends actually since moving here. I actually reached out before I moved here. I reached out to a couple hairstylists. And because I wanted to have an idea of where I was going to work before I moved here. So I reached out to a couple people and I actually came in August. So my sister lives in Boca.
Oh, okay.
So she lives like near where I live. So I now this is where I'm losing my train of thought.
No, you're okay. Your sister lives in
um
Boca, so is that why and you live in Boca, right?
yes.
Okay.
So yeah, like Fort Lauderdale area. So yeah. She like was a big reason like why I ended up coming down here too, because I have family here, which is nice.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah.
good. You're not going somewhere completely alone.
Mm-hmm. But
Okay.
yeah, I forget where I was going with that.
Just about how like you're introverted and you don't
Oh,
necessarily. Yeah,
yeah.
you're
So
good.
no, I reached out to a few girls. Not me just getting right back into it. No, so I reached out to a few girls and they actually took me out to dinner when I was here because I came a month before I moved here to see like if I would like it. And they took me out to like dinner and I like met all of their friends. So I had some type of like friends and they do hair too, which is really great. And they actually work in the studios where I work.
Oh, okay.
So it worked out really well. And doing hair and working in a studio. So the studio that I work in, there's 40 studios in there. So
Okay.
there's so many people in there, and it's a little bit easier to make friends when you're in, like, for hairstylists, like when you're in a salon or when you're in a setting where there's a lot of people just always around. And like I take clients every day. Like I become friends with my clients. So it's kind of cool that way too. Like I've had some clients that are like, okay, like if you're ever lonely, like we can come hang out. And so yeah, it's really nice. It's a little bit
Yeah.
easier to make friends when your job is talking to people all day.
Being exposed to people all day. Do you find that
Yeah.
it's hard to have conversations with people all day as someone you said you're kind of introverted?
Yeah, it used to be harder. So when I first started doing hair, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it because I was like, I don't know how to talk to people. So you'll hear me say this. I like tell people this all the time. I'm like, I made my clientele specifically so that it's younger people around my age. I don't really do too many older people's hair. I do a couple that I get along with really well, but for the most part, my clientele is people around my age because I find it that it's way easier for me to talk to people my own age. And like I can get the tea, like I can just, we can talk the shit. And I don't know if I can cuss on here, sorry.
Yeah, you can. You're
Okay. Okay, good. I don't know if I already have and I just didn't catch it. I kind of have a bad mouth. I've been watching myself here.
No, you're good. I think that's one of the things that I love the most about your videos is because it is so unfiltered. And for you to say that you're introverted, I feel like is so interesting because all of your
Mhm.
videos just come across like you're so open and conversational with everyone that you do
Yeah.
of their hair. I feel like I
It's
would never be uncomfortable in your seat.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, sometimes we'll meet like, and it's crazy because some days I have my days where I feel like I can't make conversation more than others. It's really weird, but for the most part, I am slightly more introverted. It's more so not like it's not like all day, like it's more so like after work, I just want to go home.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like I just want to be by myself. Like I need to, relax from like talking to people all day. My social battery runs out very quickly, is basically.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that's a really good point. Actually, one of the topics that I wanted to touch on is that your job is so conversational and
Mhm.
so much of socializing. I mean, that's literally how you build a clientele is by like connecting with people. How do you like when you get off work every day, is your idea of fun like laying in bed and relaxing from the day, or do you go and hang out with friends then after that?
I'm during the weekday, I like to just relax. I don't normally go out on weekdays because I have work the next day.
Mhm.
And if I go out and start drinking, I just feel like I feel like I'm gonna be hungover. And I refuse to drink really like that much like on the weekdays because I don't want to like come into work and like not do my best on someone's hair. It's like my biggest fear. So most of the time on the weekends, I will definitely like go out and do stuff. But during the week, I'm like, nah, during the week is when I'm building up my social battery for the weekend. And then normally I lose my voice on Saturday, Sunday, rest my voice back up, and we're good to go.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting job in terms of the fact that like there's a lot of people that go out and then the next day they're sitting behind a computer. Like when I had my corporate job, I didn't really care because I was sitting behind a computer. I would just turn off my, you know, my video and it didn't require me to like interact with people or
Mm-hmm.
have a specific skill. But I feel like if you're hungover and you're cutting someone's hair, like holy crap, the amount that my hands shake, like that would be the worst haircut
Yeah.
they've ever had.
No, that's also why I don't take more than like 3 colors a day, which for some hairstylists, that's like nothing. Like some people take like 10 people a day and they're there from 9 to 9 at night. But that's just not like I'm the type of person where I will burn out if after 3 people. So that fourth person, I'm not doing my best on them. So that's what I've learned with myself is I'm like, okay, max I can do is like 3 colors a day. I don't really do just um now that I've like kind of established myself, I can do kind of like what I like to do. So like that's just color. So I don't do much of like just haircuts and stuff like that. But I do it like with the colors, but
Gotcha. So I feel like one of the plus sides of being a hairstylist then and having your own seat, is it seat?
yeah,
Booth?
like yeah,
I
booth,
forget the word. I
booth
forget the
studio.
word
I
I'm
don't know
looking
why they call it a booth, honestly.
Yeah, you
Like
get to create
literally,
your own you get to create your own schedule, right?
uh-huh. It's
Okay.
the best part. I don't know if I could ever go back to being on a schedule of someone else. Um, I haven't worked a Saturday in so long. I when I first started, I actually didn't like I told myself I would when I first started, I would have to take some Saturdays because you kind of have to work around other people's schedules at the start. But after like that, I was like, nah, I ain't working Saturdays. I don't care who
Yeah.
wants me in on a Saturday. I actually don't do like homecoming and prom here because of that reason. because I don't want to be in on a Saturday.
Do you
So
like doing the updos?
no. I mean, I wish I wish that I could get into it, but I don't know why. It's like the thing when I was in cosmetology school, it's like it's like I hated everything except like color was my passion. That was like what got me through, and like doing blonding and like brunette stuff like that, and not even like really like fashion colors like the blues and like the greens and stuff. I've done it, and it just really it stresses me out. I want to learn how to do it more though. I have a friend on TikTok. I've actually made quite a few hairstylist friends on TikTok. It's kind of cool. There's like a
Yeah.
little hair talk. There's a community.
Oh,
And it's so funny. Like, yeah, I've made so many like friends on there.
very important news, you guys. Stop what you are doing. When I think about Black Friday, a couple years ago, it was always this big deal. You would wait in line for hours, you would stay online until it refreshed, and whatever you wanted would become available, and then it would sell out. No more of that. Macy's is giving you early access to their Black Friday sales. From November 7th through the 19th, the Macy's Early Access Black Friday sale is on their website. So go and get all of your discounted favorites before Black Friday, before everything is out of stock. It's only available while supplies last. You can go to Macy's.com/Black Friday. Trust me, I am on hair TikTok, like to the point that I will get videos on my For You page, which are hairdressers giving other hairdressers tips for social media and like how to take photos and how to take videos
Yeah.
of hair color. It's so funny. I'm like, how did I end up on here?
Yeah. It's funny. My boyfriend so I used to watch TikTok on his phone, and I would be liking like the hair videos, and he would get so mad, and he's like, why are all of my videos hair? And I'm like, whoops, my bad.
Yeah, probably his whole For You page. Wait, didn't you guys meet through you doing his hair, or was that a running joke?
It was a joke.
Oh man, I love that story. You had a
No,
video and you're like, yeah, he came in and I cut his
that was
hair and
actually
then
one of my first of this whole like joking like video thing that I do. That was one of the first videos that I did where I was like, because it was Carter. It was easy for me to make fun of him. So it was easy for me to just like joke around. So that was the first, and that was the first video that did really great out of this whole thing that I've been doing. And everyone like believed it. I was like, oh, this random hot guy walked in. But now, we've been dating for like 5 years at that time.
well, I believed it. So,
So
Lexie,
funny.
when did you start on TikTok?
Okay. So I started in probably like 2020. And I did not want to do like hairstylist TikTok. I don't know why, but back then it wasn't really that big of a thing to do. Like do like as like a hairstylist. So in 2021, the whole me just trying to post myself wasn't working for me. So I was like, you know what? I think deep down inside of me, I didn't think that my work was good enough to be posted. Like I didn't think that I was good. I didn't think anyone was going to care to see my work or my like me being a hairstylist. So in 2021, I posted, it was like that summer, I posted my first like hair video, and it was like how much I made in a day or something dumb. And apparently I charged way too less, which was honestly very good feedback.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure
Because
that's
most of
probably
the
great to
time you're
find
getting
out.
crushed for how much you charge and stuff. But yeah, that was one of the first videos. And then for like when I first started out, I did a lot of educational posts, and that's kind of like where I was leaning towards. And then I wasn't really myself. And I tell a lot of people this. I'm like, if you want to do social media and like content creation, because like I said, the videos like I did with Carter, that like whole like me being myself and being funny, and like that was the first video I ever did where I was putting together these clips and doing like content creation. Like it was something that it was so fun for me to do, and like doing like the joking voiceovers rather than doing something so serious, because that's not really who I am.
Mhm.
So yeah, I went from there and I just kept doing those after that, because if you look at my videos from over a year ago, it doesn't even like seem like the same person. It's crazy, because when you finally like let go and you're just like, I don't care anymore. At one point in time, a switch just flips in your brain, and you're like, I don't care anymore. Like,
Yeah, was there anything specifically that made you be like, okay, fuck it, I'm just gonna do whatever I want on TikTok now?
I don't know. I mean, there wasn't really anything specific. I think I just like, I think I kind of like leaned into it and I was like, nah, I just like, I would here and there do like these little like vlogs and stuff. But yeah, I've always been the same type of person, but I wouldn't show it as much on social media. And now that I've shown myself fully unfiltered and all, it's kind of,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if you guys don't follow Lexie or haven't seen her videos before, like you're so good at making all of the clips too while you're doing their hair. Does somebody film that for you? Like how?
No, so I actually film it all myself on a tripod.
Oh my God.
And I, for a minute, when I worked at a salon back in Illinois, I hired one of my clients actually, and she filmed some videos for me and like would film them for me. But it just kind of got to the point where it was like if I can do it myself with a tripod, I kind of was like, it was yeah, I don't
Totally.
know.
Save the
I
money.
didn't really like need it, but because like my tripod videos, they work out fine
Yeah.
for what I'm doing. I think I want to hire because I want to come out with like online education eventually. And I want those videos to be very put together. I actually want to like now that I live in Florida, my whole vibe has always been like beachy. So in Illinois, that vibe just did not fit. So now that I live here, it's really great because I can like I want to do like a shoot on the beach and like I have so many plans for like moving here. So that's why I
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
I love that. So your videos are just like a compilation of all these clips of doing people's hair when they come into your salon. And then you do the voiceover. And the voiceover, like half the time, I feel like it doesn't even really talk about what you're doing with
So,
your hair. No, and I love it. And I
yeah.
watch the entire thing and I'm like, give me more. And then I'll binge your profile for a while. Like every time I will literally check to see if you have a new video because I love watching them. I've always been
Oh my God, I love
so
that.
into like on Facebook where they used to have that feed of just videos that they served to you over and
Uh-huh.
over. It was always like the hair videos of them cutting hair with a knife or something like
Oh
random.
yeah, like the butcher knife, and they're like,
Yeah.
I would be terrified if someone was doing that to me.
It
Like,
does actually work though.
or
Like, is
like
that
when
really
they
a
take the
thing?
fire and they light the hair on fire and they're like
Oh no.
cutting it with fire. And I'm like, what?
I know. I don't understand that either because I feel like that's kind of what I'm doing when I put like a straightener or a curling iron on my head
I know,
is
right? It's like you're
literally burning it
literally
off.
frying it off. It's crazy that we put heat of like 400 degrees on our hair. That's like what you cook stuff with.
Yeah,
Crazy.
when you think about it like that, it's just it can't be good. And I did it for so long. I used to straighten my hair every single day, or if I didn't straighten it, I would curl it every single day. And now I get really bad freaking gray hairs. Like
I
premature
remember like
gray.
one of your videos saying, yeah, what do you want to do with your hair?
I don't know. I see. My thing is, I thought that if I dyed my hair lighter, it would help blend the gray hairs. But the thing is, the gray hairs started poking out and they're gray. And then my blonde hair is yellow as shit. And the combination
Mhm.
between like warm and cool tone was
Is
way,
your natural hair very dark?
it's not as dark as it currently is. The
Okay.
issue is that I can't get to my natural color without it being way too light or way too dark. So when I saw
Mm-hmm.
hairstylists like to match my roots, there was only ever one hairstylist and she's in San Antonio that did a really, really good job of getting it to match entirely. But it takes a combination of like highlights and lowlights. And right now, my hair is just gone through the ringer for the past year or two that I don't want to lighten it at all because I feel like
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ruin it.
Yeah, I get that. And you have like finer hair. I feel like you should do extensions.
Everyone keeps saying that. So, okay, this is one of the things I was going to ask you about. When it comes to extensions, what is your advice? Because I did the tape-ins
Oh
and that
God.
shit was the worst thing of my life.
I
Like,
don't care what anyone says. Tape-ins are one of the most damaging hair extensions to exist. I don't like them for a full head. I like them more so like sometimes I'll put like a tape on like the sides of my head just to fill in like the sides because like sometimes with the wefts they don't go all the way up here.
mhm.
So they're good maybe just for like two of them, but a full head of tape-ins is an awful. It's like you're gluing your hair to each other. It's
It was horrible. So actually, the hairstylist in San Antonio, she was the one that installed them, and I got the hair from Donna Bella. They
mhm.
sent it to me for free. And at this time, like I had not really been doing social media yet. So them offering me free extensions, I was like, holy shit, hell yeah. Like I didn't even really
Yeah.
care to get extensions at that point, but I was like, if they're free, of course I'm going
Oh
to.
yeah.
And they looked so good. But then after like 2 or 3 weeks, when your hair starts growing out, you just have these giant like wads of
Especially, yes.
in your hair.
Especially for people with fine hair. So my tape-ins, even when I just put them on the sides of my head, when they grow out, like
Oh my God.
it's like 2 weeks and you can start seeing them.
Hmm.
And when you get those moved up, if you get them taken out, you'll find like these little glue pieces in your, it's just like, it's an awful process. It's an awful move up process. I don't love them. And
Yeah.
when you think about it, so with hand tied, so like I have like wefts in my hair right now.
Okay.
And it's basically you just have 2 rows on your head. So it's just like 2 like little rows of it. With it, tape-ins, they're all over your head. So
Mhm.
they're all over your hair. So if anything, they're damaging more because with the wefts, you have to think that they're only on like this little,
Oh, okay.
they're
Yeah,
only
just that
on
one
like that
art.
one little what am I trying to think of the word here? Like the track, like that we make with like a bead. And it's like, so that's the only hair that if it's damaging anything, it would only be that. And most of the time it's not damaging, especially if you go to someone who knows what they're doing. And you're taking care of them properly, of course. But yeah.
Yeah, good to know because I've definitely like I've thought about it for sure so
Mhm.
many times. But the thing is I work out a lot. I'm like sweating a lot. I hardly ever do my hair, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I just let my hair air dry, which I have questions about that. Like, is air
Mhm.
drying your hair bad?
I saw that on TikTok. I'm like, there's
Yeah.
no way. People try to find anything to air drying
Okay.
your hair is not bad. Sleeping with it wet is a different story.
Okay.
Sleeping with your hair wet, not good. Air drying it, I don't see a problem with. With extensions, though, if you're air drying with extensions, you need to like blow dry the root of them just because
Okay.
there's a lot more hair than normal. So if you don't like blow dry it, like sometimes it can still be wet in the inside and it kind of like it's just gross.
Yeah.
So,
It's
but yeah,
like
for the most part,
musty
like
in there.
yeah, yeah. So maybe for someone with like super thick hair, maybe I would like blow dry the root a little bit, but like air drying your hair is not, in my opinion,
Okay.
it's not bad.
Yeah, that's just like the main reason why I haven't done it because it's like I don't
Yeah.
do my hair every single day in order for me to
Mhm.
care enough about what my hair looks like. I'm just trying to focus on making it healthier so that
Yeah.
like I can cut the split ends, I can do whatever, and then maybe like by the summer next year it'll be growing out a bit. But
Yeah.
um, oh my gosh, I have so many questions. I have some questions actually written down about like hair specifics.
Mhm.
And the number one question that people wanted to know from you was tips on hair growth.
Okay. So hair growth is a very, okay,
Yeah.
it's genetics. If we're being
Oh,
honest, hair growth is genetics. It's if someone's trying to sell you a vitamin or sell you this stuff, it's not going to grow your hair. Your hair goes through 3 phases and everyone's phases are different. So yeah, some people are very blessed and they're in their growth phase a lot longer than others. But there are things that you can do to help it grow. So for example, like having a good diet is like a really like drinking a lot of water. What you're putting into your body is kind of like what you're gonna get out of it. And that's like a lot of people's probably like problem.
yeah.
Also, I would say like obviously using the right products is always great. Using a hair mask, drinking a lot of water, sleeping with a silk pillowcase is a random one, but it's actually good. It's more so like really great for extensions. Kind of helps that friction at night when you're sleeping. You don't like you're not gonna get like oh those like little
Mhm.
um and then also like cutting your split ends off. Because if you're
Okay.
not cutting your split ends off, your dead ends off. So if you ever felt like I've had people come to me and I've had this problem too, where I'm like, my hair doesn't grow, but I was blonde. Like your hair is growing from your roots. So
Yeah,
your
because
roots
it's
start to
not
show, but
getting
people will be like,
longer.
my hair is not growing. I'm like, clearly it's growing because your roots are showing. So
Okay.
I was like, the problem is that your hair is dead. So basically if you don't cut the split ends off, they just keep splitting up
Oh,
and they just keeps getting shorter. So like you're not getting your hair is giving you a haircut for you. So if you don't cut them off, it just keeps splitting up. So basically if you cut them off and like eventually you'll get to that healthy point. But
oh my,
yeah.
oh my like hope just crumbled beneath me. I'm like, I've
I
been
know. And it sucks because I mean, when you even think about it, like my mom has the worst hair, like just the worst hair genes, and I have her hair. I just my hair is so fine and it like has never grown quick, and it's just that's just how it is. And if some people feel like their hair stops growing at a certain point, and that can be true at times, like your hair just I don't know, it's very much genetic. It's
oh
crazy.
man. Well, so
Yeah.
I've been using like hair serums and all this and that, and I've
Yeah.
been all over
Which
TikTok.
I'm sure that there's stuff that helps. Like I said, like, I mean, I'm not like a scientist, but I know that there is stuff that, I mean, probably like helps, maybe getting that. Like, there's stuff that you can do while you're in that growth phase that is going to make your hair grow a little bit more. But yeah, like, for example, why like pregnant people, like their hormones are different. So it's like their hormones and like everything like that, changes. So sometimes people, their hair grows a lot when they're pregnant. And
Oh,
that's why, is because their bodies are like, their hormones are different. And it's just, yeah.
interesting. Well, so I've been learning a lot more about like hormones, and I was
Mhm.
actually, it's so funny because the episode that I did earlier today was about exercising and working out, and it also has a lot to do with hormones. And it just seems like everything in the female world is revolved
It's
around hormones. You want
literally,
better
and
hair?
I'm sure like our birth control affects it and everything. Oh my God. You want to hear a crazy birth control story?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I was on the pill for so long, and it was like 2020. It was like around COVID time. I got COVID, and this is like when I really noticed it because it flamed it. So I had this huge lump, and it's not really there anymore. But I had this
On
huge
your
lump
neck.
on my throat right here.
Okay.
And every time I would swallow, it would move. And I was freaking out. I noticed it that summer, but I tend to like, I act like things don't exist when there's something wrong. I'm like, oh, it doesn't exist. Like I don't pay any attention to it. It doesn't exist. It's like bills. No, I'm kidding.
No, I
um,
like that.
but yeah, so that like I started to notice it, and I was like, so I instantly went to the doctor. I'm like, I have cancer. That's what it was. Like, I'm like, I have cancer. So no. I went, and she was like, they did like a ultrasound on it. They were like, no, like, but they're like, it's just like a lump on my thyroid, but it was like, I think benign.
Oh,
I think it's like not cancerous. So they're like, it's not cancerous, but they're like, they're like, it's not going to go away. They're like, if anything, it's going to get bigger, and you're going to have to get it like surgery to get it removed. So of course I'm like, great, that's great. So I had this lump on my throat for that full year. And then I got off my birth control because I was like, the birth control just kind of like messes with me mentally. So I was like, I'm going to try to get off of it and see like if I feel any better. So I ended up getting off of it. I shit you not, a month or two later, the lump was gone.
really?
The lump was
Yeah.
from my birth control. It had to have been. There's no
What?
way that stuff just goes away.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, I mean,
Especially
I
like,
feel
yeah.
like lately everyone is talking about birth control and like getting off of it or trying a different method or whatever
Mhm.
because they're noticing the effects on their health. But what kind were you on?
It was a pill, and I think it was called like Estrella or something like that. But yeah, I'd never been on like any other ones. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should have like, I don't know. It's crazy. But for someone who doesn't know if they want kids, it's a little risky for me to be off my birth control, but it's fine.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's good that the lump went away though. Do you think that getting
Yeah.
off your birth control, like, did that do anything to your hair? Do you think that affects hair growth or anything?
It didn't for me, but I don't know. I feel like because it's like hormonal and stuff like that, I feel like it has to play a role in people's hair. I don't know. To some
Interesting.
extent, I feel like it could. But yeah, it's like COVID. Like some people, like a lot of like I had clients who had like extreme hair loss from COVID, and they're like, what can
Oh,
I do? And I'm like, honestly, like I don't like this is like no one's ever dealt with that before. It's crazy.
yeah, there were quite
Right?
a few
It's really
people
sad.
that also asked about hair loss, which, ugh, girl,
Mhm.
I take a shower and I'm not kidding you. I think I've noticed it more because I've been washing my hair less. So
Yeah.
it's like if I wash my hair every 4 days, when I take a shower, there's gonna be a giant ass lump of hair. It's like I
Yeah.
kind of want to save the hair and make it into my own extensions. Have you seen
Yeah.
that person that
Have you
saves
ever
all
seen
their
the girl
hair?
on TikTok who saves her?
Yes. I'm like, I should actually start doing that because I think at this
That's
point I
so
would have a
funny.
full ass wig. But
Yeah,
I
so
think
my little sister actually loses a lot of hair too, and it's sometimes it's like concerning amounts. Like she'll like FaceTime me, and she's like, "Look at how much hair I just lost." But really, hair loss can be a lot of different things, and a lot of people don't realize, like it can be from stress. So if you're like more stressed than normal, like your hair, you can lose it a lot more. It also can be a thyroid problem. So, checking with like a doctor in that sense, like if you're having like a lot of hair loss and it's really unexplained, I would maybe like get your levels tested because that could be a problem because that's like one of the main things is like thyroid.
yeah,
um
I will say I feel like myself and probably a lot of other people included, like I just want to find I really struggle with wanting to find the simplest, easiest, fastest solution when
mhm.
most of the times it's not actually a solution. It's like maybe a band-aid for a couple weeks, but
Yeah.
internally I know that the solution is probably going and doing that. So don't worry, I am going to a doctor, but it takes so
Yeah.
long
But
to get an
also,
appointment.
don't freak out though, because if you're losing like a lot of hair when you shower, so like for example, my little sister, she has curly hair, so she doesn't wash her hair a lot. She
Mhm.
doesn't wash it like every day. So because you're not washing your hair every day, those hairs kind of aren't falling out. They're kind of just staying in there. But
Yeah.
you would lose like 100 hairs a day or whatever it is.
So
So when you shower, when you finally like wash your hair, all of those hairs that you lost throughout the past couple days are just coming out. So like that's another thing. But so unless it's like a concerning amount that you're losing, I wouldn't be too worried about it really. But with hair loss though, also like say like your like hairline, like I feel like mine, like I don't know, I'm like getting like a receding hairline. But like wearing your hair up and like I used to wear my hair up in these like tight buns and like stuff like that can like pull these hairs out. So
Mhm. I
yeah.
used to wear my hair in, well, okay, so I just recently, when I say recently in the past like 3 weeks, started doing my own research about things that I've just been doing wrong with my hair because let alone all of the dyeing that I've done in the past. But also things like yanking the shit out of my hair when it's wet. Like, okay,
Mhm.
I know that it's tangled, but I probably shouldn't like get my hair stuck in it. And then I've been wearing my hair up. Like I'll sleep with my hair wet and I'll put it in a bun.
Oh
And then
yeah.
like that's like a double whammy. So I recently got a little silk bonnet and I'm
Oh,
telling you,
perfect.
yeah, I'm telling you, I
Is it
started
bad?
using this like, is it what?
Is it bad?
That.
Wait, do you not like the silk bonnet?
Oh no, 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 I love it.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say that's like a good thing.
No, 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 I love it. And
Okay, good.
I started using like a biotin serum in my hair. And I wish I could show you up close, but I'm starting to get these little baby hairs like
Oh,
along
good.
the receding part of my hairline, like you said. So
Hmm.
I'll send you the link to it. But
That's another argument is biotin. A lot of people say
I
that when they
know.
take that, it makes like, which it could be true, but like I said, everyone is different. So what works for someone probably isn't going to work for another person. That's
Yeah.
what sucks about everything. It's like a lot of people ask like, oh my gosh, like what did you do, what did you do, and it's like what worked for me might not work for you. It's really sucks. That's just reality. And I hate to bring, I don't know, it's just like I don't know, I feel like a lot of people don't actually realize that that's just like life.
Yeah, no, I get that. And biotin too, I feel like it causes a lot of arguments too. There's like a lot of
Yeah,
people that are like, it ruined my life. And then there's people that are like, oh my God, it changed my life, you know?
yeah,
And
it's
it's so
really
hard.
crazy.
Yeah. And when you're just like so vulnerable and so insecure about your hair, like you just want to
Mhm.
search for all of the answers that you can possibly find. And so when you find something that worked for someone, you want to like grasp onto it, just hoping that it'll work
Yes,
for you. But
exactly. And I mean, you never know until you try to. So I
mm,
mean, trying things that you think might work. But when I was younger, I was so insecure of my hair. Because I like I said, just really thin. I've been wearing hair extensions since I was like 15. But when I was like in like grade school, I was really insecure about it. I would literally put eggs and like mayo and like all this random like concoction shit in my hair because like the internet said that it was going to make my hair grow. And I would sit upside down every night for like 45 minutes because I thought my hair was going to grow out of my head.
wait, I've seen that one. I've seen that one. I see rosemary water everywhere. I see like the scalp
Yeah.
massager. Are there any that are just like a big fat no-no that are just like, no, this is
Um,
absolutely a gimmick?
actually, I forget which oil it is. What's the oil that everyone wants to put in their hair?
Is
There's
it
some type of oil that people would put in their hair, and if
faster?
yeah, it might be that.
Oh.
If anything, it's kind of like clogging.
Oh,
Like
see,
it's
I
so
have
thick of
that.
an oil that it's just clogging like the cuticle or whatever. So it's not really doing what you want it to do.
Well, it's funny you say that because I have castor oil. I recently got it from Amazon and I started using it. And in combination with like some of the other things I've been using, which I have not like really shared that much because I'm like, I just don't want to share something when I'm trying to figure out if it's working for me. So,
Oh
like,
yeah,
even if in
exactly.
3 months it does work and I have hair growth, like, I'll obviously share it. I'm not going to gatekeep it. But for the moment, I'm gatekeeping it because I don't want anybody to try it and then it fucks up their hair. But
Oh,
I've
true.
been using the castor oil and it is so thick, it feels disgusting. It's like you can't
Yeah.
not wash your hair after that because it's just a giant ball of pit, like a giant pit of grease. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
So bad.
But yeah. But yeah, that's yeah. I feel like your natural oils, if you're gonna go with oil, let your natural oils come through, which sucks. But I don't know, your natural oils, they're good for you.
Thoughts on dry shampoo after that like huge recall? Are you
Oh
for
my
or
God.
against it?
So those brands I'm not for. I mean, so I've known that there's what was it, butane? Is that what it's called? I hope I didn't just botch that, but I think
I
that
have no
it's like the
idea.
thing that catches fire, basically. And I've known for a long time that those have been in those drugstore products. It was a big thing like a couple of years ago, I think. And I don't think it's in. I like Moroccan oil dry shampoo. That's like my favorite dry shampoo, and I don't think it's in that one. Um, but yeah, I mean, I still like dry shampoo, just not the bad brands. And and I'm not against drugstore shampoo conditioners. I'm not against like all that because I mean, not everyone can afford a $50, $60 shampoo and
Yeah.
conditioner. And I literally, there are good, like, there are good things that you can get, but the whole dry shampoo thing was like a little weird, but I knew that those were like in there. So like I never recommended dry shampoos from a drugstore, but yeah, I don't know. That's crazy.
And it was like earth-shattering news when we found out. Everyone's like, holy shit, I've been putting horrible stuff in my hair.
Oh
And then I
gosh,
think
yeah.
it probably answers a lot of questions as to why it's like people's hair is kind of ruined. But luckily, I
It
didn't
could.
use dry shampoo that much until like kind
Yeah.
of recently while I'm trying to save through washes. But
Yeah,
um,
I wish I had my dry shampoo right here right now so I could see because I actually haven't checked my like Moroccan oil one, but I doubt it does. I would hope that it doesn't.
that's probably
But
a good thing to check.
but I'm in my here's my hairstylist brain. I'm like, oh, it could never. All professional products could never. Probably does. No, I'm kidding.
You said that you don't mind drugstore brands, which I think is funny because somebody asked me to ask you for
Mhm.
drugstore shampoo and conditioner. I was like, oh, she's probably gonna say none of them because I think every other hairstylist says
Oh
nothing
yeah.
from the
A lot
drugstore
of
is good. But
hairstylists are very like anti everything like that. I believe like so basically what you want to look for with drugstore and everything like that is just looking for making sure that there's not that much sulfates and parabens and those type of ingredients in the shampoo and conditioner. And I know that nowadays a lot of like drugstore ones don't have it, but it's not I don't think it's like an awful thing to use drugstore shampoo and conditioner. I think is it Kristen S?
yeah.
Is that like I know like a lot of people were like using that toner for a while. I think that one's not bad. Um
So interesting because I actually used Kristen S for a while and it was like in
mhm.
the background of one of my videos or something at one point. And I remember people specifically saying, oh my God, don't use that. It made my hair fall out. So it's
Oh
like, I
really?
just, yeah. So,
Wow.
I mean, going back to what you were saying, I feel like it's so hard to find credible products because everyone has completely different
Yep.
interactions with every single thing that they ever put on their head. Like
It's
everyone's hair
exactly
reacts
not.
different.
So like I, for example, like I'll use like Redken, for example, and it or like Moroccan oil was a big one that I when I first started at salons, the salons that I was working at only used Moroccan oil. That was it. And Moroccan oil is very heavy for someone with fine hair.
Oh,
So a lot like some of my clients had trouble where it would like their hair would be greasy after they use it because they weren't washing it out. It's very concentrated, it's very thick. So that's like a thing where it's like you can use like I could love Moroccan oil and like rave about it, but like for some people it's not gonna work.
mhm.
And it just yeah, it sucks. So but yeah, like I said, maybe I could do some research. I haven't really looked into the whole drugstore product type of thing. I you know what, now that you say that, I'm gonna like look into it and find like what in my opinion are the best drugstore shampoo and conditioners. And maybe I should make a video about that.
Yeah, yeah, you should. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that like I feel like we're made to believe that it's hard to take care of your hair on a budget almost. Like you have to
Yeah.
invest in all these
Like
things
you have to
now.
do all this now.
Yeah,
It's
so
not.
that would be
I
super
know some people
helpful.
with the longest, thickest, most beautiful hair and they can use like they use like drugstore shampoo. Like it's I don't know. It's a weird thing.
Do you have recommendations for what to do for like super fine hair that's like really sparse? Like, I don't know. I mean, you and I both have fine
Mhm.
hair, but I at least have a
So
bit of fine
what
hair.
I could say like would help like using like texture sprays I really love, especially like curling your hair. Curling fine hair already makes it look more like bouncy and like using a good texture spray. Again, I kind of like the Moroccan oil texture spray. I also like Redken has one. Um but yeah, there's or if you get so what you can do is you can get like clip-in extensions and they're not like don't sleep with them in or anything, but if you like you're going out one night literally clip those suckers in. But then wait, didn't you make a video about or clip it?
So like a year and a half ago, or maybe even longer than that, I got those. Oh my God. Okay. I was balling on a budget. Like, seriously, I could have spent just the additional $75 to get ones that were already made. But in my mind, it was more fun to like have a story out of it. So I go to Sally's, I get the extensions that are just one long ass track. So keep in mind, in high school, I would wear these to homecoming or prom to make my hair fuller. So I would have like a bigger updo because that was the shit. Like you have an
Yeah.
updo. And my mom, my aunt, and my grandma they cut the extensions and they sewed the clips onto the extensions.
I've
So
seen.
I in high school, I used to do hair and makeup for like prom, homecoming, and bridal. And I didn't have any certifications. I had no qualifications other than just doing it for my friends. It looked good and then kind of just like spread around town and I would go and travel and do it. It was like really fun. And I remember I was doing this girl Alexis's hair for prom. And I don't know if she listens to my podcast or anything. I don't want to say her last name, but she had thinner hair and we were doing a half updo. And I ended up being like, oh my God, wait, this would look so good if I used my extensions. And then she loved how it looked. So I just gave her the extensions. I was like, I never really wear them. But then when I moved to Austin, I was really struggling with my hair. I just fucking hated it. And I feel like it's so hard too, because we all put so much of our confidence into our hair. So when
Uh-huh.
your hair looks not how
Oh
you want
yeah.
it to, you're
If
like,
your hair
oh,
doesn't look at like if my hair doesn't like look like if I don't have my extensions in, I'm a different bitch.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
like
It,
it's just yeah, it's
It's
crazy.
definitely hard. And so I went to the store. I was like, "Oh shit, my family did it. I can do it." So I go to the store, I get these extensions, and I was on TikTok live at the time. I remember I was drinking wine as well. So like trying to make my own extensions and drinking wine and online at the same time, not a really good combination. And I remember doing it that night and then like struggling to curl them and then I was washing them and I was blow dry. It was a whole thing. Um, but I recently, oh my God, this is a whole part of the other story. I recently, I don't know whatever happened to those. Honestly, I feel like they got lost somewhere or I let someone borrow them. I don't even know. And I recently got a halo, which is, obviously more
Oh
of
yeah.
a investment. But when I got it, we didn't have the hairstylist like cut it and make layers and, style it. We didn't have enough time because it was for an event. So it's just cut completely straight across and it's like super thick and heavy on the bottom.
Oh
Today
yeah,
I was
that's
like,
the
I'm
problem with
just
them.
gonna try it myself. Grabbed a pair of kitchen scissors and just started snipping away. And now I'm like, oh, okay. Put them down. I need to like call Lexie.
That's the biggest problem with like clip-ins too. It's clip-ins, they come like so thick at the bottom, and then when you put them in, they're all like staggered and you have to get it cut. But then
Yeah.
when you take them out, there's no possible way you could put them back in the exact same spots that you had them.
I,
So
I
it's like it's crazy.
the clip-ins are hard too because if they're all the same length and you put them in at different levels on your head, they're
Yes.
obviously not going to be all the
It's
same
so
length.
choppy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's what was wrong with my clip-ins was I didn't know how
mhm,
to cut them. And when I was doing the updos, it really didn't matter at all because it was just all being curled and pinned and whatever.
yeah,
But I
that's
have
true.
some questions that I wanted to ask you.
Mhm.
And we've kind of been on here for a while. I feel like we could just chit chat all day. It's so
I
fun.
know. I'm like, hope you guys wanted to sit and listen for hours. Like,
No,
take a seat, everyone.
I love it. I feel like I'm learning too, and it's fun.
Oh,
So
good.
people want to know, um, what do you think about apple cider vinegar on the hair, like washing it with that? Is that a myth?
I've never heard of apple cider
Oh,
vinegar on the hair.
okay.
I've heard of drinking apple cider vinegar, I think, right?
Yeah.
For it's like
Yeah,
good for like your gut health.
yeah, but that's
I
not
drink those
necessarily hair.
poppies
Okay.
and they say apple cider, I think on them. But no, I've never heard of putting it in your hair actually.
Okay. So I feel like what I'm gathering over all of this is like all these little tips and tricks that you can do to make your hair quote unquote grow are
Mhm.
really just not worth it.
I mean, yeah, like I said, what works for someone probably like might not work for you. It's crazy. I mean, maybe like try them out, see if they work for you. It never hurts, I guess.
Your hair might
Um,
smell, but who cares?
yeah, but yeah, for the most part. And it's one of those things where it's like your hair is not going to grow overnight. Like you have
Yeah.
to be doing something consistently. So even if you're sitting here putting apple cider vinegar on your hair, chances are you're not going to do that for longer than like a week because it's kind of like probably gross. Unless you're consistently maybe doing it, maybe if that's what people are seeing results with, maybe, but chances are you're not going to do that for long. So it's
Okay.
something stuff is like very like you have to be consistent with like what you're doing with your hair. But yeah.
Okay, good to know. So we can nix the apple cider vinegar. I
Yeah.
want to know what your pet peeve for clients is, like the most annoying thing that a client can do.
Oh, let me think. I don't know. I like honestly, I've been very lucky with having really great clients. I don't like to like ever say anything bad, but I have had and I see here's the thing, I might be too nice because a lot of the times the first thing that hairstylists are gonna say to you is when people no show. or when people cancel last second and stuff. But low key, when people cancel last second for me, I'm like kind of getting off work early. But like I never like really hold it against people because I'm the type of person where that's happened to me before. Sometimes like I would get like this anxiety where I'm like, I just can't like go to this appointment. I can't do this. But like I would never no show someone. But like the whole canceling last second thing, sometimes I get it unless it's like a reoccurring thing. But yeah, I have to get back to me on that one. What's the most
What about
annoying?
Oh no, you're good. I feel like that was a good answer because I kind of was expecting you to say no show, but I think I
Yes, that's mainly like what everyone would probably say. Because I nothing that they do. Oh, you know what kind of annoys me? I'm like, oh wait, nothing. No, it's when people sometimes people are like head talkers and they'll talk with like their
oh,
head and they'll move their head while I'm trying to foil them. And I'm like trying to put in the foils and it's so hard. It's so difficult to do. So
because their head
that's
is just
probably
bobbing
that's
all
that's
over.
gonna be my answer for that one. But yeah.
That's a
It's
that's a good one. Like their head is just bobbing everywhere. You can't even
yes.
catch a piece of it.
Oh gosh.
What about like when somebody comes in, like let's say myself, and I want to go blonde, like what is your advice to somebody that really wants to go super blonde, but like it's just not feasible? Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so for you, I would do a test strand on you first
Okay.
because I know that you have like some like previous box color, which I don't like discriminate the box color life. I'm as you can see, I'm very like I don't know. I'm not like your typical like I'm gonna beat your ass if you use box color type of bitch.
I
Like
like that though.
because I've used box color on my hair before. So who am I to tell you not to like I'm not gonna lie. If I wasn't a hairstylist and I had like little grays, like whatever, and I'm not gonna go to the salon every single week.
No, it's not
I'm
worth it
I'm
for
touching that
me.
shit up with box dye. I don't care. So for you, because I know that you have like some old box dye, I'd probably do a test strand first to see how that would lift, and
Okay.
then kind of go from there. Because I know your hair is very dark.
Mhm.
Have you ever put the box color all over?
I
Or is it
used to
lonely in
like
this?
2 years ago, but then after
Mm,
I went lighter, I have never done an all over box color ever since then.
okay, yeah,
I
that's good.
only ever do it like right here in my roots, and I really don't go
Which
far at all. It's
honestly
just
isn't
so
that big of a
dark.
deal because for the most part, I would assume if you were to want to go lighter, you would want to do something a little bit more rooted anyway. So it's
Yeah.
not that the box color wouldn't be like that far down. But yeah, I would do like a test strand and then I could give you your options from there,
Okay.
basically. So
Okay, good. How long do you feel like it would normally take for someone that is brunette to go blonde?
So everyone's a little bit different for me personally. So I was very dark. Like I was like almost like your color last year because I have impulsive moments where I'm like I'm going full on brunette. This happens every single year with me. I'll be blonde and then the next year I tell myself I'm never going back brunette ever again and then here we are. But I went your color probably like last year and then in
See.
January or so or somewhere around there like April I was like I want to go back blonde, which obviously being a hairstylist, I know that that's not going to happen overnight. It took me probably 6 or 7 months to get like,
Wow.
to get to the blonde that I just was like the very blonde, like short. But
Yeah.
as you see, my hair was short because I had to cut it because
And then you get there and you're like, oh shit, I want to go back to it. And then I feel like it's kind of like an over. It's just
it's so bad. It's so bad. I'm awful with my hair, but I try to not be. I normally when I go brunette, I typically stay brunette for a little I stay darker for a while, but I will have a moment where I know my hair will be your color again. It
okay.
just I don't know why it happens to me, but I'm like I need the dark, really dark color. But I think I'm liking the color I have now. It's like a light, it's like a medium brown
I
color. It has
love
like a few
it.
highlights in it. So I really actually like this color.
I
I think
love
it like
it.
yeah, because I have dark eyes and like dark eyebrows. So now I'll look back on pictures of my blonde hair. I'm like, damn, maybe that really didn't suit me.
I feel like it looks very natural on you too. And I think that was like
Mhm.
one of the big trends of this year was people stopped dyeing their hair so blonde when it wasn't
Yeah,
the
I'm like, I'm
natural
about to be
color.
out of a job.
Okay, this is one of my questions. What was like the best hair trend of 2022? I feel like blonde, like that light brown
Yeah,
Bieber
like this,
moment.
like pretty much I just went with the trend, I guess. The Hailey Bieber, anything Hailey Bieber basically was really big. What else was really big?
Slick back bun.
Last year was like the curtain bangs.
Mm,
Now, right now, it's red hair,
yeah. How do you feel
which
about the red hair?
I honestly, I love like the red hair. I just think that sometimes like, and I'm the type of person that would do it too, that like I would just like jump on the trend and not really think before doing it. So like as a blonde, if you're going to like that red color, if you go to the wrong person and they put like permanent like red color on your hair, that's not coming out. And like you like as a client don't know if they use permanent or not.
Mhm.
So like most of the time you guys like don't know what we're using. If we're using demi permanent, if we're using permanent. I personally don't ever use permanent color just because most of the time my clients like to switch it up. So I don't ever want to make it harder on myself. But yeah,
Oh,
I actually almost did it.
really?
Yeah, I was
Gosh.
and I was impulsively on live one time on TikTok. And I was like, I was like, guys, I'm gonna put this copper color all over my hair because I was going dark that weekend. But then I was like, it's probably not my smartest decision.
See, okay, this was like a trend back in literally middle school. I did the Kool-Aid on my hair one time, where you put like the
Oh
Kool-Aid back
yeah.
in hot water and then you just do like a little strand of it. And it was red Kool-Aid. And I could not get this freaking red Kool-Aid out of my hair for like over a year. And even when I would dye my hair, it would still pull like super, super orangey. I could just never get it out. So I feel like the red, I mean, I'm always trying to cancel out the red in my hair. I don't know why.
Uh-huh.
I've just never loved red. I think because
No.
I have more of like a pink skin tone, it's just never, at least for my
Yep.
face, it's never looked that great. But yeah, the red hair is huge. And then also obviously a slicked back bun. But I'm like, girl, if we keep doing the slick back bun every day, our hair is going to be our hairline is gonna be gone.
I know. I would kill a good slick back bun if I could do it. My hair, so my with hair extensions, it's harder to do because it's harder to hide them because you can't really normally the slick back bun kind of goes like right back here.
Yeah.
So when you're pulling your hair back, you can kind of like my hair is very fine, like I said, so it's harder for me to like hide them if I do something like that. So I never really got to participate. And when I don't have my extensions in, my hair is literally like a little like rat tail. I'm not even kidding you. So the bun wouldn't even look good. So I never got to do that, sadly.
Kind of how my bun is right now. It'll actually be like this tiny little golf ball. And it's just like
Yes.
it's not even big enough that you can see the side of your bun like directly straight on. So it actually just looks like I have like a bald cap on sometimes. And sometimes it's not the best move for me. But if you have super like dirty hair, it's the best thing you can do. You just kind of hide it. But
Yeah.
what would you say is this is my last question. What would you say is the worst hair trend of 2022 that you want to leave in this year?
Ooh. Oh, it was the wolf cut this year. I want to leave that.
Oh, wolf cut. What the fuck is that?
People were literally putting like a ponytail in their hair at the top of their head and like cutting it. And when they would bring it down, it was just like this really shaggy like haircut. And
Whoa. Okay.
I don't like it. My little sister kept begging me to give her a wolf cut. And I'm like, no. I'm like, I don't. And like, she has curly hair, but I ended up like giving her like bangs and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not doing the full thing. But yeah, I don't love that. I don't love that cut.
Okay.
And the
Okay.
tape ends we can leave. And
Tape in. Oh my God. Tape ins are like, they should have just never been a thing. I actually
this
just,
is a tape in hate podcast.
seriously, that's going to be that's going to be the caption. Literally,
uh, don't buy tape in.
yeah, that's good.
All of
No,
the hair extension companies are now not going to work with me.
no, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Honestly,
That's funny.
I would be good if I never had a tape in my head ever again. But I might
Yeah.
say that and who knows, it might come back around. But I feel like technology is so advanced these days that like surely there's a
Yeah.
better option than literally putting sticky shit in your
I
hair.
know. Yeah. I think the K-tips too. The K-tips are like the little like keratin tips. Like, I mean,
Oh,
I think that they're a little bit better. I don't know about a full head of them though. You probably have to really take care of those. But
are
yeah, I have a
those?
question for you though.
Oh, okay.
You're so good with like the business like side
Oh,
of things. Like, did you just like randomly like that's just like your personality? Like you're just very like good with business. Cause
oh,
like you doing all of these events and stuff, I'm like, I'm trying to plan out this photo shoot and it's the end of the world for me because I can't plan anything. It's
I
awful.
well, thank you. I really appreciate that. I think like I really think that it's a culmination of different experiences like all into one, which is interesting because like I always said that after I graduated college, I took the advertising job at TikTok because I wanted to like complete this circle of all of these skills that I had. So like
Mhm.
when I was in high school, I did event planning in an aspect. I would like plan this like
Oh, you
dances and
did.
stuff.
Okay.
Well, I was on like student council and I loved that shit. I loved decorating. I loved everything that I could to like be involved in that way, I guess. And then when I was in college, I was a t-shirt salesperson for like this company and it was all commission based. So I was like very, very motivated by money in college because it was like as much as you make, like, you know, as many shirts as you sell, as much money as you make. And I was paying for a lot of aspects in college and just like, you know, I wanted to live like a certain lifestyle, I guess, that was like beyond the means that I needed to. But I think that taught me a lot about like kind of having a business and like making yourself into a brand, I guess, because I wanted people to know me as like the t-shirt girl. And that was really helpful. And I would do like meetings and stuff, and I would meet up with people on campus that I've never met before. They'd be from like these random organizations and clubs, and I would pitch to them, you know, like making the
Wow.
t-shirts for them. And so I feel like that taught me a lot. That was really good, like on a resume. And then I worked in the service industry for years. I was a bartender and a waitress, and I worked in
Oh, okay.
retail. And I feel like it's really all encompassing. Like you learn so much about customer service or just
Mhm.
all of the little tasks that go into things. It makes you have to appreciate all of the little jobs.
Yeah.
And I think knowing that you're never too big to do those like little things, you know, obviously helps you just be like grounded. But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't really know where it came from. I guess in my mind it's like social media is not forever and I've always known that
Yeah.
it was never going to be a long-term thing. So how can I like kind of capitalize on this moment and like an audience and like still keep their attention for time to come in a way that's actually beneficial to them and like give them value, I think is the most important thing that I've tried to focus on. And I think for you as a hairstylist, like the way that you can do that is literally by educating. And
Yeah.
I mean, your videos alone are already entertaining and educating, but I think
Yeah.
if you do start kind of shifting into educating other hairstylists, like
Mhm.
I think that is a really great way to be
Yeah.
business savvy. And then you
So
can
now
start
I
making like your
actually,
own.
yeah, because that's like what I now I like teach classes, and it's crazy because like a lot of the times people are like, oh, do you get paid from TikTok? How much do you get paid? I'm like, I don't get paid anything from TikTok. But I take it as like I wouldn't be educating like in different states if it wasn't for TikTok. Like I that's how I like was able to reach so many different people.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's so funny because like I love seeing like younger people like build like businesses like so like there's a girl from my hometown, and like me and her I feel like kind of like really related in the sense because her name's Allison. She owns a boutique,
Okay.
and she's my age, she's like 23, and
Mhm.
now she like moved to Florida too. It's so funny, we have like very similar stories, but it's crazy to see like she has like a very like I asked her the same question. I'm like, how are you so good at the business side of things? But like then people look at me and they're like, how are you so good at the business side
Yeah.
of things? And I'm like, it's so crazy because you feel like you're not, but then in reality, it's like, I feel like we don't give ourselves enough credit, especially because we're being so young. And yeah,
I
so
definitely think that plays a factor. And I also think too, like a lot of times you just learn as things come up. And a lot of times you just kind of fake it till you make it. Like there are a lot of things that I'm not good at that I don't know how to do. And a lot of times, like you just kind of learn how to do it when you have to. And so
mhm.
from the outside looking in, it might look like I'm good at it, but really I feel like insecure that I'm not doing enough or, you know, and I think it does go back to what you're saying that we don't give ourselves enough credit. Maybe like what you said that you didn't think your work was good enough to be seen
Yeah.
or anything. I think that is exactly it.
And it's
And
crazy because, and the reason I thought that is because I like, in the way that I think about it now, and it's so crazy. It's like, who am I to be here teaching people how to do hair when I've only been doing it for 3 years? It's, I mean, but like in reality, I'm like, then I have to like tell myself to shut up. And I'm like, okay, like you've done this,
yeah,
like
you
this,
deserve
like,
it. And you've
yeah, like
also
I put
done
in a
more than
lot of time and effort into like my
right.
education, stuff like
And you've
that.
also done way more than just like doing people's hair too. I think you have to think
Yeah.
about overall, like you moved to a new city without your boyfriend from coming from a small town. And then
Yeah.
you opened like your own salon and now you're blowing up on social media. And now like you aren't scraping the barrel, like trying to find creative ways to find clients because they're lining up, like trying to go to you. Like
Yeah.
that is a huge accomplishment that
Crazy.
not a lot of
Yeah.
people, I'm sure in the, you know, cosmetology world, like they're probably longing for that. So I'm sure with that too,
Yeah.
probably comes a bit of jealousy and competitiveness from people who wish that they were in your position. When in
Yeah.
reality, you're sitting here like, gosh, I don't deserve this. And I think it takes sitting down and just kind of like looking at what all you've accomplished to be able to be like, no, you
Exactly.
deserve to be right here.
Because from their eyes of things and like from people watching on social media, it looks like, oh, they got TikTok famous. That's why they are successful. And that's not really the case. Like I've been on TikTok for years. Like I didn't just blow up overnight. Like
Mhm.
it wasn't like that's not what happened. I've been working on myself and like it's just it's crazy that because people just see like and they just assume that that's why like I'm successful is because I have like TikTok and it's like no, like
Yeah.
I've been like it's crazy. No one actually knows, but yeah.
And I mean, followers also don't equate success. Like
Not at
there are
all.
people that are so good at building their own personal brand and they don't have a million followers. And I think that's
Yeah.
okay. And then there's people that have a million followers and they maybe don't have the mindset to figure out like what to
Oh no.
actually do with
There
it.
are so many people that I've seen that have so many followers and I'm like, you're doing nothing with your platform. But yeah, and it's crazy.
Sometimes it can be hard to figure out exactly what it is to do with it too, because a lot of times you just don't expect it. I mean,
Exactly.
like you didn't expect that video to just blow up. And I feel like now you have such like this audience that is like so
Yeah.
captivated by what you post. And I think also
And
too, when you know that you have
yeah.
a lot of eyes, it kind of changes the way that you make content because you start to overthink it. And then
Hmm.
I've been very guilty of that. Where as I think about, what people will think when I post certain things instead of just posting whatever and doing what actually like people enjoyed me for in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. But yeah, it's a crazy world.
Yeah. And you're doing great. And I'm so excited that I
Yeah.
had you on the podcast as, you are taking off with your hairstyling career, becoming a teacher
Yes.
and everything.
Oh my God.
And
Yeah,
this is,
I'm excited to do your hair in the future.
I know, I know.
That'll
I'm
be such a
excited.
great little that'll be such a great video. I could just roast you the whole time.
I promise you, I would love that. So we'll set that up off the podcast whenever I come and visit you in
Like
Florida.
you guys want to
But
hear all of our plans? No.
oh yeah, they'll know. Trust me, they'll know when I come and see you. But thank you again for coming on. I think you answered a lot of people's questions, and also this was just a fun
Yay.
little episode, kind of a break from like some of the past conversations I've had. So
Yeah,
good.
no, it was so much fun. I love talking. So if I just talked the whole time, like, yeah, I can talk people's ear off.
How do we find you? How do we follow you?
Oh, okay. My TikTok is Lexie Rainbolt, where you can probably find it by Hair by Lexie, and then Instagram is Hair by Lexie. You can probably find me anyway, Hair by Lexie. It's what
Perfect.
people call me. People will come up to me and be like, Hair by Lexie. I'm like, I haven't. You can just say Lexie.
They call you by your username.
Yeah, it's Hair by Lexie. That's where people know me from.
I will link her socials in the podcast description as well, so you can find her and keep up with everything that she's doing. And if you live in Florida in the Boca Fort
Yeah.
Lauderdale area, let a girl know.
Yes.
All
Yay.
right. Well,
All
that's
right.
the end of it.
Bye. Thank you.
Talk to you next Tuesday.
Bye.